unseen by time, and ambitions are low, and resentment rides high, but emotions won't grow, and we're changing our ways, taking different roads. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Why is the bedroom so cold? You turn away on your side. Is my timing not flawed? Our respect runs so dry. Yet there still is a deal that we've kept you alive. Love will tear us apart again. Love will tear us apart again. Fly out in your sleep, all my failings exposed. There's a taste in my mouth as desperation takes hold. Just that something so good, just can't function no more. Love will tear us apart again. 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 Check out some other like immersions or subscribe to be the first to see them every week. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, Twitch? What up, Cosmic? What up, Stampy? What up, bots? What up, lurkers? What up, tiny people in my chatterino? It's your boy. It's your boy. What a day, what a day. Yes, Cosmic, we're going to right about noon. All right. Little dude has his snacks. Little dude has his snacks. Y'all snacked up? Now you can either chill out or you're gonna chill or you're gonna leave. Yeah? You're not getting any more snacks. What up, Hydran? It's apparently a cat petting stream today. That's what we're gonna do. Pet the cat. What up, Michael? More art in the Discord. Hey. A job to do. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Jesus. Criminy, old lobster. What have you done? What have you done? What up, Larry? Oh, my Lord. Pray for someone like you. I think a Michael masterpiece. Now, this one definitely looks more like Stampy because it's got that solid white. You know what I mean? Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. It did kill the beard. It did kill the beard. Morning, old lobster. What did you do, old lobster? I saw what you did. Yeah, man. Here we go. This is the spawning of the cage and aquarium. Cage and aquarium. You don't need 100 people to kill a silverback gorilla. You need one brave man with a tattoo of an ego. You can pump him up with meth, adrenaline will to the wrist, and the other 99 will be just fine. You know Don't need 100 people to kill a silverback gorilla. You need one brave man from Florida with a tattoo of an eagle. You can pump him up with meth, adrenaline will do the rest, and the other 99 will be just fine. True. True and fact-pilled. If you're in the know, you know that there's a thing that I want to say, but I'm not going to say it because I don't do that kind of shit. But goddamn. Some people just come out their whole fucking chest, their whole fucking mouth, and have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. What up, Walking Stick Library? But under those conditions, you know what we do? I'm just going to let people be wrong. Right? I am not the Dunning-Kruger whisperer. I am not put on this earth to fucking convince everybody of everything. If you did, Larry, then just good. Just call it good. Just call it good. Never understood the what if was ever supposed to be it's stupider than most other what ifs. I'm not sure what you mean, Hydran. You talking about the 100 men versus a gorilla what if thing? It's you can never tell what the internet is going to get into, man. You can never tell. You put something out there, somebody just, ask the question. Remember the horses? Would you rather fight, what was it, 10 baby-sized horses or horse-sized babies? Something like that, Like, whatever. They're always, it's just weird. Horse-sized ducks, that's it. Or duck-sized horse. All right, let's do some fucking news. We have a limited amount of time, and it's 11:11, so do a wish or some shit. I don't fucking know. Trump's your president. Video game companies release a final offer to SAG-AFTRA addressing AI demands amid 9-month strike. The major video game companies involved in negotiations with SAG-AFTRA, which represents voice and motion capture performers in video games, say they have made their final offer in negotiations to end the actors' strike as it approaches its 300-day mark. In a statement provided to Variety Monday, SAG-AFTRA condemns the video game company's move to release the proposal for publication and says its negotiating committee responded to that offer within 72 hours on May 2nd with our own response to the open issues relating to artificial intelligence, and that we have to date received no response to our counteroffer. The Actors Union went on strike July 16, 2024, after 18 months of negotiations. At this point, the strike hinges on a single issue: SAG-AFTRA's strong concerns regarding consent and compensation for the use of AI replicas. Though the strike applies to specific titles on a case-by-case basis, major video game companies included in the work stoppage were Activision, Blind Light LLC, Disney Character Voices Incorporated, EA, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Llama Productions, Take-Two, VoiceWorks Productions, and WB Games. I don't know, Hydran, have you ever seen a gorilla? Variety has exclusively obtained the latest proposal from the companies, which they say was sent on April 30th. This proposal was deemed by the video game publishers to be their best and last offer following negotiations that lasted April 11th to April 15th. Heading into that round of bargaining, the two sides had tentative agreements on 24 out of 25 total proposal, including wage increases of 24% over the life of the contract. Final issue at hand was protections against generative AI. So here's the thing, Hydron. Um, in a vacuum, what up, Pharaoh? In a vacuum, sure, right? But humans are notoriously panicky. You know what I mean? Like, the first guy, a vacuum would definitely kill a gorilla, yes. Um, the first guy is going to run up on that gorilla, and that gorilla is going to reach its hand out and grab that person by the face and pull their face off, and then grab one of their arms and like whip snap them around. And that's going to cause a lot of those 99 remaining humans to question their decision, right? So nobody wants to be number two, right? What up, James? The first guy was probably hyped up, got himself all hyped up. He's like, I can take him, right? I can take him. I can get in a good swing and I can take this gorilla. And then everybody else found out that that dude was wrong. So who wants to be the next guy in that lineup who's probably going to get murked so that the other guys can get on the gorilla? You need like, you got to figure you're going to sacrifice, like, even if you all rushed in, you're sacrificing at least 5 to 10 guys off jump, right? That those guys have to get in there and occupy the hands and feet and teeth of the gorilla so that the rest of you can jump the thing. And when that first guy's face comes off and he issues forth a scream, a blood curdling scream, a scream that no man outside of warfare has ever heard, when the skin is removed from his face and that guy's hands go up to hold what's remaining of his face in place, and that gorilla snaps him up maybe by the ankle and slams that dude onto the ground and maybe hits, so now you're down to 98, you know what I mean? So like, you have to think about this. See, James understands. I'm willing to sacrifice 20 of you so I can kill the gorilla. What up, Dojo? Let's assume the gorilla has a harem of epic beauty and the 100 guys are really kinky. There's that. Oh, so yeah. It sounds easy, but it's only easy when you don't actually think about it. Once you start getting into the minutia of what it means to be a guy facing a gorilla, you know. And are the guys, or did they plan? Did they train? Are they like Roman legionnaires where they're all going to get shoulder to shoulder and all rush the thing at the same time? There's a lot of unknowns in this scenario. Um, what up, Peta? I I think that the strength of numbers could bring the gorilla down. But there's enough of a hesitancy in that first up type scenario that leaves open the plausibility that the gorilla would take it. Oh yeah, no, like yeah, the gorilla is very strong. Sacrifice at least 2 guys to be made into tools with their bones and such. Use the meat to distract the gorilla. Gorillas are actually vegetarians. They eat like leaves and shit. They don't really eat meat. Chimpanzees, on the other hand. Speaking, do you remember that story from like a decade ago where people had a chimpanzee and the chimpanzee got upset at somebody and that chimpanzee like took that woman apart, like it like fucked her up big time. That's what you're talking about. And the chimpanzee ain't anywhere near on the scale of the gorilla. I don't know. I didn't ask him, Hydron. That's exactly my point, Peter. Is like once the blood starts flying, it's a whole other scenario. If you haven't been in the middle of a you know some kind of like protest or riot and the riot cops are coming at you, I don't know if I can trust you going up against the gorilla next to me. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know if you have been tested. You need to be tested first. I have seen a silverback pound its chest and like fling itself at the glass. All right. So, big news in the AI space. OpenAI reaches agreement to buy startup Windsurf for $3 billion. Is that gorilla? I'm trying to get through articles. That's a really tall gorilla. Yeah, that's Mighty Joe Young. Like King Kong was like Godzilla size, but Mighty Joe Young was like just super big. And that's where we're at here. Is this is Mighty Joe Young size. So this is like, obviously flawed. But and this is not new. Look, how strong is a gorilla compared to a human? 1 year ago, I bet you it recently had an uptick in views of people who wanted to find out, right? Yeah, windsurf. And does the gorilla know about Harambe? That's the question you have to ask. Is the gorilla on a vengeance run? Take care, old lobster. Enjoy your time at the dentist. OpenAI has agreed to buy Windsurf, an artificial intelligence assisted coding tool formerly known as Codium, for about $3 billion, according to people familiar with the matter, marking the ChatGPT maker's largest acquisition to date. The deal is not yet closed, said the people who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss private matters. OpenAI and Windsurf declined to comment. What up, Tinker? Microsoft cut off Cursor's access to the VS Code add-ons in a quiet move. They were happy to support open source editors until they made their own to compete with it. I'm considering installing Windsurf next. Okay. What up, Sean? Good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow creatures. I don't know what the figure is for the gorillas, but I read or hear somewhere that the muscle in panons, chimps, and baboons is about 7 or 8 times stronger than the muscle in humans. Yeah. Like it's a whole other thing, right? Like it ain't just that the gorilla is in like the gorilla has like them short legs, so he's got a really low center of gravity and then big long arms. And I'm just telling you, if you watch a gorilla just doing a display, then you have to consider that it's not gonna go well for a bunch of those dudes. And again, who wants to be the first dude? Now, Copilot in VS Code looks almost exactly like Cursor, but it also has the add-ons. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what. are you surprised, right? Like that's ultimately what it comes down to. Are you surprised? Is this not exactly what you would expect to happen? The acquisition could help OpenAI take on rising competition in the market for AI driven coding assistance, systems capable of tasks like writing code based on natural language prompting. Bloomberg News previously reported that the two companies were in discussions about an acquisition. Windsurf, formerly called Exafunction Inc., the name you could choose, had recently been in talks with investors including Kleiner Perkins and General Catalyst. Hello there, General Catalyst. To raise funding at a $3 billion valuation. Company was valued at $1.25 billion in a deal led by General Catalyst last year. OpenAI rival Anthropic and Microsoft Corp owned GitHub both offer AI tools for programmers. Investors have also poured money into a new crop of startups offering similar tools, including AnySphere, the startup behind Cursor. We'll see how it all comes down. What up, Adam? Everybody wants to talk about the gorillas. OpenAI, Apple, and a few other companies are looking to make their own internal code assistants for their toolkits too. So we're going to be seeing the big ones eat up our favorite community of coding tools. Yes. Maybe we should get Andrew Tate to believe that fighting the gorilla alone is a great display of strength. Yeah, no, real alpha males can fight a gorilla one-on-one. I heard that somewhere. General Catalyst is such an on the nose investor. It really is, right? This is why Gorilla Glue was specifically invented to slow those apes down. Yeah, yeah. Dude, one becomes nunchuck. Exactly, exactly. Exactly. First the face comes off, then he grabs you by the ankle, and then he beats the rest of the guys to death with you. What's next? See, this is the thing. This is why people got to come through to the show. None of this comes through on the Substack articles. Amazon says new warehouse robot can feel items but won't replace workers. This is my believing face. There's a new warehouse robot at Amazon that has a sense of touch, allowing it to handle a job previously only done by humans. Amazon unveiled the robot called Vulcan Wednesday at an event in Germany. CNBC got an exclusive first look at Vulcan in April as it stowed items into tall yellow bins at a warehouse in Spokane, Washington. An up close look at the hand of the robot reveals how it can feel the items it touches using an AI powered sensor to determine the precise pressure and torque each object needs. This innovative gripper helps give Vulcan the ability to manipulate 75% of the 1 million unique items in inventory at the Spokane warehouse. Amazon has used other robotic arms inside the warehouse since 2021, but those rely on cameras for detection and suction to grasp, limiting what types of objects they can handle. Mostly boxes, right? Well, remember, like we looked at that warehouse, and there was the warehouse, and the robots were already doing most of the picking at the warehouse, and then just would occasionally need some help from the human, so they would come over to the island the human was standing on and have the human pick the object out of the one box, put it in the other box, and push the button. This might be the replacement for some portion of that human's job, right? So now you need that human to do less stuff. Ergo, you need less humans. Vulcan can operate 20 hours a day, something that humans are notoriously not good at also. Still, Parnas told CNBC that instead of replacing people in its warehouse, Vulcan will create new, higher skilled jobs that involve maintaining, operating, installing, and building the robots. Of course. Of course. Because the labor pool of relatively unskilled workers, right? From the point of view of Amazon, I'm doing all the crime bunnies, don't at me. That labor pool is the same labor pool of people who can maintain, install, and build robots. Almost the same. I don't believe in 100% automation, he said. If we had to get Vulcan to do 100% of the stows and picks, it would never happen. You would wait your entire life. Amazon understands this. The goal is for Vulcan to handle 100% of the stowing that happens in the top rows of the bins, which are difficult for people to reach. Limiting workers to stowing on mid height shelves, the so called power zone, could lower the chance for worker injuries. You know what else lowers the chance for worker injuries? Amazon has long struggled with injury rates far higher than those at other warehouses, though the company claims those rates have improved significantly. And it's just because this stuff is on high shelves. It's not for any other reason. Don't look into it and don't ask about the bottles filled with apple juice. We have a ladder that we have to step on several times a day during your 10-hour shift. There is a lot of reaching. We have to lunge and squat. So that's a lot of tough body mechanics. As a picker, if I had an innovation like this where I could have stayed within my power zone, my days would have been just so much easier. Amazon said Vulcan is operating at about the same speed as a human worker and can handle items up to 8 pounds. It operates behind a fence sequestered from human workers to reduce the risk of accidents. Experts agree that humans will work alongside robots in warehouses like Amazon's for the foreseeable future. Whereas if you build a terribly complicated automated system and it breaks, then everything stops. Taking out the last human is so expensive. It's so disruptive. It would be a huge investment and an enormous risk. Sure. Assuming that the entire system would break as opposed to being a robot that you could swap out. But again, yes, as Hasanabi told us, as Hasanabi wants, the future, the Hasanabi future, the future factory will have 2 employees, a man and a dog. The man will be there to feed the dog, and the dog will be there to stop the man from touching the equipment. Everybody gets a dog, Tinker. Everybody gets a dog. So take the positives where you can. OpenAI plans to cut Microsoft revenue share after restructuring, the information reports. OpenAI has told investors it will share a smaller fraction of revenue with major backer Microsoft as it moves ahead with its restructuring. The ChatGPT makers dialed back a significant restructuring plan, with its nonprofit parent retaining control in a move that's likely to limit CEO Sam Altman's power over the firm. Universal Basic Robotics. In financial projections shared with investors, OpenAI said the percentage of revenue shared with Microsoft would drop by at least half by the end of this decade. In an existing deal, OpenAI has agreed to share 20% of its revenue with Microsoft through 2030. OpenAI told some potential and current investors that it would only share 10% of its revenues with commercial partners, including Microsoft, by 2030. The report said, citing private documents, adding that Microsoft wants access to OpenAI's technology beyond 2030, like you would. In January, Microsoft changed some key terms of a deal with OpenAI after its joint venture with Oracle and SoftBank to build up to $500 billion of new artificial intelligence data centers in the United States. Microsoft has said it has revenue sharing agreements that flow both ways, with the key elements of the partnership remaining in place for the duration of the contract through 2030. We continue to work closely with Microsoft and look forward to finalizing the details of this recapitalization in the near future. You get a robot, and you get a robot, and you get a robot. From the Harvard Gazette. The Harvard Gazette. Could the same tech that is threatening photojournalism offer a way to save it? Shorenstein Fellow wants to deploy tech to preserve the visual record. An image from the front lines in Iraq provides a test. Let me just see if there's any photos that are. No. Okay. Artificial intelligence poses a serious threat to photography and to photojournalism, whether through copyright violations or through synthetic images, blurring trust in what's real. But Emmy Award winning visual storyteller Kira Pollock says the same technology that is threatening photojournalism might also offer a way to save it. Pollock, who has shaped the visual identity of major brands including Time Magazine, Vanity Fair, and the New York Times Magazine, is now the Walter Shorenstein Media and Democracy Fellow at the Shorenstein Center on Media Politics and Public Policy. She is researching ways to use AI to protect the vast archives of professional photojournalists as a record of the world as it really was, and she's using the archive of War Photographer. You were the creative director at Vanity Fair as AI first entered the mainstream. What were your initial thoughts about AI's potential to impact photography as a craft and an industry? My immediate reaction was that we were entering an entirely new era of image making, one that posed an existential threat to photography as we know it. On one hand, the sophistication of fabricated images was terrifying. On the other, it promised an explosion of creativity. At Vanity Fair, I was commissioning highly produced fashion images of public figures and gritty journalistic pictures from the front lines. As generative AI tools and large language models began to rapidly evolve and fake images started circulating widely, alarm bells were sounding across the photojournalism community. In my experience, every time a new technology disrupts photography, what up, Iggy? The most important thing is to understand it. Yes! Learn how it works, how it might be harnessed for good, and how to protect against its potential harms. If you don't understand it, if you haven't engaged with the tool, if you haven't used the tool, than what like, do you understand what it is that you're talking about? Person who I'm not naming who did their stream and just ran their fucking mouth. What up, Ghost? Nuance in this economy? Uh so this is the image. Semi-related to this image, not to the AI aspect of it. There's a Vietnam documentary series on Netflix. And they have interviews with do we need another Vietnam documentary? They have interviews with people who were part of the NVA and the VC and other aspects of the northern Vietnam experience, which is unusual. You don't get a lot of that. Usually, it's all American veterans, maybe some South Vietnamese folk, but the North never really enters into it, and they are getting a more holistic thing. And there was a guy who was talking about his images that he took during like Iraq and Afghanistan and the images that were taken during Vietnam, and they did a side by side comparison, and holy fuck, it's like uh, like there are certain realities that just always come back around, you know what I mean? We really need to knock it off. You see a potential for AI to help photographers preserve their vast archives of work. How do you square that use of AI with this other side of the conversation where there are real concerns about the erosion of trust in what's real? I see these as two distinct conversations with some overlap, like a Venn diagram. One part of the conversation focuses on generative AI. What up, Reed? Ability to create photorealistic images without a camera or lens. In today's relentless breaking news environment, where images spread rapidly on social media without gatekeepers, this can be a dangerous mix that erodes public trust. Another concern is copyright, specifically the risk of photographers' work being scraped and used to train AI models without consent. This raises urgent questions about ownership, authorship, and protection. The work I'm doing exists in a third circle of that Venn diagram. It's about using AI not to generate or exploit images, but to preserve, organize, and surface real photojournalism. These archives are vast, often inaccessible, and under threat, both physically and digitally. I am exploring whether AI can help responsibly unlock this material at scale while safeguarding the photographer's intent, rights, and legacy. It's about using the technology to reinforce visual truth, not replace it. And the preservation of media is a huge issue, right? We talked about it before, like related to the VCR, the videotapes that exist in the world, whether they are your personal ones or whether they were, um, something that was created, like movies or what have you. I don't believe it's actually that far, Iggy, to say an AI curated public domain. Um, More like an AI curated private domain, like still under copyright and IP, but that people could like access. You know what I mean? Like one of the like how many pictures, how many photographs Not even any other kind of picture, specifically photographs taken with either a digital camera, a cell phone, or um a film camera and then scanned into the internet. How many photographs do you think exist on the internet right now? And how would you find one that you were looking for? Right? It often comes back to the discoverability issue. As a creator on the internet, it is challenging for people who might be interested in my content to find me. Um and this is true for like all creators, you know what I mean? Like I have played videos that I consider like classic on the internet, right? Like when I played the Los Colorados Du Hast. That thing has been viewed crazy number of times, right? And a bunch of people had never knew that it even existed. Not that there was a band, not that there was a song, and not that there was a video to go with all that. So, how do you find something in that vast sea of stuff? And it's AI, right? You need I mean, I suppose you could initiate some sort of massive public works project where we hand go through every single image that is available on the internet and um and like label it and sort it and get it where it needs to go. It's not going to happen, right? Because it's cost prohibitive um in the current meta, and also it would suck because the vast majority of images don't really matter to anyone but you, right? If you're honest with yourself about the images that you have taken with your camera, there's a whole meme about it back in the day, right? Like of you go over to like your grandparents' house or whatever, and they want to show you slides of the trip that they went on, the vacation that they went on. And it's like, do you really care? Does anyone really care other than you? And you were there? You can show me like one or two really good pictures of your trip, and I can see some place that's beautiful, and I can see you having a good time, and I generally get the vibe. But going step by step through all the pictures that you took, is that really interesting for people? You either have to be proactive in being in places you think people will be interested in what you have to show, or have a system that people can search to discover, or have a system that recommends based on your behavior or interest. Yeah. I mean, we could probably be farther along if our algorithms weren't hooked up to a profit motive. Um, you know, like fuck. I click on one video of um I don't know, like I clicked on a video that looked to be like it was a human making the food, but the voice was AI, and I'm fine with that, right? Like it allows translation across populations. I'm good with that. Um, but then all of a sudden the algorithm is feeding me constant amounts of this. It's like just flour and boiling water. You'll make this every day. It's like, dude, I looked at one fucking video, right? Like I don't need the content this level of inundation. And I don't have granular control where I can like minimize the amount of stuff that I don't want to see. It's like I like cooking videos. I learn stuff about cooking by watching cooking videos, right? And especially outside of my own cultural zone, like what I understand, what I've learned. I want to learn other stuff because then I can bring something and do fusion. I'm a huge fan of fusion. I just don't need 150 different, put yogurt in the boiling water. You'll make this every day. It's like, dude, you put your finger on the real dilemma. Digital content that is put up on the internet is just like light. The further you get away from the origin, the less you can see it, and eventually you cannot see it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good analogy. What up, Beef? I hear this same complaint a lot from my dad about YouTube showing him the same stuff. And that's the other thing. Like, I just want to be able to like crank a dial for like just newer stuff, right? I don't necessarily want to, though I enjoy some memories of like YouTube from 14 years ago. I don't not everything that was on YouTube 14 years ago was good either. So yeah, we wish Kira Pollock the best of luck in their endeavors. What up, Nick? Has a new to you section in the far top right. So this is like here. I'll click the home button and I'll show you my YouTube. Right? And God forbid you touch on anything related to gaming. So here's a new Kelly Bosch, cool. Here's a some sort of delivery robot from 3 weeks ago. Okay, right? Like I'm cool with this, right? Like I want to see this. And I'm not even against the idea of these gaming setups because this is the one that's like oh no, this is a different one. Oh yeah, no, this is a variation on that. Right? Right, so that's fun. I don't need to ever see this video again. You know what I mean? It has satisfied the need for people who have created a like a tank like setup for gaming that they play with their friends. It's a neat idea. It's fun. And then like this. I don't care. I don't care about Holly Berry at the gala or whatever the hell was going on, So like this is what I'm looking at. And you get some news, right? We got the conclave, we got the India Pakistan thing. And then here's a cat and a train. It's not really my thing, right? Level head. I was actually thinking about you last night. I must have sent out the brain waves, and because here you are. I was worried about you, homie. I was going to send you a message on the Discord, and here you are. Here you are. What do you think of Kath O'Neill's suggestion we don't feed the algorithm at all? I don't understand how you would do that. I mean, I suppose you could just not log into a YouTube account, but holy shit, I don't recommend that at all. At all. Cause it at all. You just get sent. Woo! YouTube Raw, do not recommend. Do not recommend. What up, Minute? You feed the algorithm by simply walking with your cell phone in your pocket. Right, like that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you do any of that. What up, Law Dog? You know, like how would you not feed the algorithm? Do you think we are moving into age identified a time ago where eh, eh, where even important stuff just becomes AI slop over time and worthless to keep? Value is subjective. Um, so on one hand, again, we're already there, right? Like my father-in-law had a collection of slides, right? Is everyone familiar with what a slide is? It's like a tiny little transparent photograph inside of a white cardboard case, and you would put them in a ring thing, and it would go and it would project the picture up on the wall or screen or whatever. But I have them. They're here, occupying space in my house. He's in Arizona, right? This was important to someone at some time and then became unimportant. You know what I mean? I exist apparently, go figure, algorithms notwithstanding. You do exist, and I'm happy that you do, homie. If you don't log in, they still create a non profile. I'm sure. What up, Textolian? They figured out how to use Wi Fi routers to make real time physical maps of the world. Yeah, absolutely. Like they know, if you think about it, right? They would know someone accessed a particular slice of information off the internet, and it's a person who accessed it using your home router. So, yeah, right? It could create this anonymous imaginary third entity, right? You know, that exists within your space. They're on your router. Now, well, what about the VPN? Good luck. Slide is what the penguins say in the Happy Place Cave say. True. Yes. Even with VPN. I mean, maybe if you run your own like VPN out of your house, maybe somehow, but your stuff goes to the internet, right? How does it get to the internet? Through your ISP. It's not magic. So at some point in time, your ISP knows that some data came out of this space. It's just the other thing at the other end that doesn't seem to know where you are. Just if you want to find out if VPN works, plan a terrorist attack on the VPN and see what happens. I do not recommend that you plan a terrorist attack on your computer at all. I am in no way endorsing this. I'm using it as a thought experiment. Right? Oh, yeah. I mean, they might not be able to know, like, specifically what, but again, it's all associative. Right? And if you can analyze a vast enough trove of data, you can find it for discussion purposes only. It's educational. It's educational. UVA researchers develop an AI tool to fast track new health treatments. University of Virginia engineering researchers created a new artificial intelligence tool to speed up the search for disease treatments, identifying promising drugs to prevent heart failure. Because developing new drugs can be costly, the team hopes their new AI tool, I don't know how you pronounce RX. other than RX. Loggia RX can save times and money. There are still a huge number of different chronic and acute diseases that affect many people, including heart disease, cancer, and infectious diseases. And it's very challenging for the field to develop new drugs. The success rates are very low and often take 10 to 15 years start to finish. We tested these computer predictions in heart cells and then in preclinical models. Analyzing a Food and Drug Administration patient database and a UVL Health electronic health records, we saw in both patient populations a lower incidence of this overgrowth of the heart in patients with either depression or anxiety who are prescribed Lexapro. The world we live in is so weird. And dude's name is Saucerman? Jeff Saucerman. This is him. He is the Saucer Man. In the Little Brother book, the powers that be are tracking movements via FastPass style systems. Hacker and the like generally create chaos, though by cloning, spoofing IDs randomly, which kind of muddies up all the data. Yeah. No, I mean, and that's why, like, I understand the concerns about, like, police statey type stuff that can happen, and that's bad. I'm not a fan of that. I just understand the creativity of humans, right? Like, just look at every time a country gets conquered by someone, and there's a bunch of people in that country that don't like it. They get creative. What up, Ben? They get creative. People are very creative. Should you not believe any identity or image you see on the internet? Yes. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. But generally speaking, the burden of proof is that you should look at something you see on the internet and question it, and then how did we lose 4 minutes? Did I just time travel? Yeah. Assume it ain't real until you can verify that it is real, is the way that I look at it. As for the data tracking thing, it talks about that too. Needle in a haystack detecting something as rare is prone to false positive bias. Sure. All right. So everything is weird now for scheduling with the wife's car not working and me transporting her. Next week should actually be kind of cool. Should have some additional time. It's just after that, right? And it's possible that your boy is gonna have to put this energy into a job. I love y'all. Y'all are great, but we don't produce enough enough capital on this show to offset reality. So I'm gonna see what I can do, and just as always, stay flexible, my friends. In the meantime, drink your water, eat some food, take your meds if you forgot, and always remember that Chuggy loves you. So do I. Be great.